thinking that we're live right now?
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn on the camera.
Good.
People are gonna be very, very, very pleased to see our faces. And we're live again. Lisa.
Woohoo!
I didn't turn on the camera yet. Okay, are you ready to do the same thing?
go.
Hi guys. All right, let's go. 1, 2, 3, and
Woohoo!
that was like a micro podcast introduction.
Yes, it was like, how do you enjoy our new audiobook line? Craft and Chat audio. I mean, it works too.
Of course, it's yapping and yarning.
It's still just yap, yap, yap.
Hi guys, welcome to another
Hello,
episode
everyone.
of Craft and Chat.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
We have a fun episode today because up until now, Craft and Chat has always been about scraps.
Yes.
Our scrap yarn, which is like a huge pile of yarn, probably, at least in my case. But we decided to take a little turn,
Yeah.
you know, to spice things up. And it was a very impromptu decision.
It
that we
was
did.
completely. I don't have buyer's regret. I don't. But I did go home that day thinking, what have I agreed to? But
So-
I'm glad I have. I'm glad I
Exactly.
did.
Exactly, because Craft and Chat, the scrap series that we've been doing so far, has or is going to turn into a cal that we're going to be doing together. Me and Lou, we're going to be doing a cal. So that means that we invite you to be part of it. We're
If
going to
you would like.
explain, of course, if you would like, and we're going to explain everything around it. And you know what? While I was doing a little bit of research, talking a little bit with the designer, and so I found out, Lulu, that technically speaking, you could totally use your scrap yarns to make this particular pattern, as long as you meet the gauge. And I will get to that point when it comes.
Yeah.
But yes, welcome to Craft and Chat.
Welcome.
Let's go.
We're Jaya and Louisa, in case you don't know. I'm assuming most of you know who we are, but in case you don't, welcome. Nice to meet you. We've got loads of fun stuff going on.
Yeah.
I will preface this by saying also that we talked about this last time. I am a complete beginner knitter. I know some of the very, very basics of it, but I'm by no means in any way, which means this is part knit along, part Jaya teaching me how to knit. So
Which I think it's perfect for those of you
Exactly.
guys that are really maybe curious.
Yeah.
It's more curiosity than anything else. If you're curious about knitting, this is your opportunity to dibble a little bit your toes in the knitting waters.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna go step by step with Lou. I'm gonna show her step by step what she needs to be doing. Showing her a lot of different. I'm maybe not a lot of different because there's not a lot of different things you can.
No, but just helping
but
me along with all the
exactly,
steps and making
exactly.
Yeah.
So that means I can also maybe, you can get inspired by watching as well. And maybe get help from some other people in the chat that are knitters as well. And if not, if you're a crocheter and you're like, I don't want to knit, what is this? Girl,
Just lean back, grab your project, and
grab that
hang
hook.
with us.
Grab that hook and let's look at how, I'm hoping for some failed, I know there's not going to be because you are a perfectionist.
Yes.
In the
That's
best
my
in the best
downfall.
in the best way possible, I'm saying that, but I'm really hoping for you to really fail and embrace the failures that you're gonna be having.
Because I mean that's part of the process, especially
Exactly.
with learning.
What is this? Oh, it's a
you
scissor.
Can't be afraid to. Yeah.
Is this even focusing on me? Probably not. I'm too close. We need to rearrange ourselves. You need to come closer and closer to
Hello?
the camera, maybe.
Hello.
Should we go closer to the camera? There we go. That's a little better. Isn't that feeling good? You're gonna want to be close to the. I know that we're not supposed to
Close to
touch
you?
the.
Always.
We're not supposed to touch the table too much because look, when you touch the tail, look what happens.
Yes.
It's an earthquake. It's not an earthquake.
It's not.
Um.
Copenhagen doesn't get those that often.
Yeah.
Have you ever had one?
But
Probably.
well, let's get into it.
Yes. What have we got today,
So,
Jaya?
so last time we talked about starting this and ordering the yarn, and we have actually ordered the yarn as soon as we finished Craft and
Yes.
Chat 2 Thursdays ago. And I have obviously received the yarn. We're gonna unpack the yarn together, and we're also gonna just have like a quick look through the pattern. Tell you guys about the little surprise we have going on. I think we're gonna start with that actually, and then eventually we're gonna go through some notes. I mean, I have some notes and some things to keep in mind for when you're about to begin.
Since in this case 100% Jaya is very much the expert, she will be kind of leading these next few sessions a little bit, because, well, I'm still learning.
And
so.
you need to focus.
And I need to focus on the knitting because that's the other thing. We, of course, want to do as much of this as we can in the next few sessions. So I'm going to have to really step up my game and make sure I stick to it so that I can present you with the finished result at the end.
You're going to have a beautiful slip
I'm
over.
excited.
And you said it yourself that you really wanted one.
Yes.
So, and worst case scenario, if you're behind, nobody's here rushing you.
No.
It's a cal, yes, but that doesn't mean that, oh my God, if you're not doing it, I'm going to fire you, you know, or I'm going to...
That's
you.
You're
fired.
That fear had not entered my mind until, well, now that you've put that thought into my brain.
No. That's not gonna happen.
But that's also to you as a like little invitation. If you, like me, are a complete beginner and you're just kind of maybe intrigued by the idea, just give it a try. And there's no end goal. There's no you have to upload a picture of it by a certain date or anything. This is supposed to be very much just a fun little series for us as a community to come together and hang out. And I'm just really glad because it just works out really nicely because I've been meaning to learn how to knit and Jaya is an excellent teacher when it comes to that. So it's a really cool opportunity for me to hop on that.
Exactly. And then maybe we can also do a little cal with a C this time.
Sometime in the future.
With your scarf.
Maybe. I mean, we already kind of did one session where I went through the pattern. So
yeah, but I think it would be cute to actually do where people just like for the Suki slipover, we prepare, we get the yarns and all of that, right? It would be really cute. All right, so starting off with a surprise.
Yes.
Obviously, we don't have usually anything to just give away during our craft and chat sessions, but today we actually have 50% off for 24 hours on our friends Kitsilk. So that means that you can order the yarn for half the price in the next 2 days. If you write CC50 in the chat, we're gonna send you a link to our little landing page. You can find on the landing page also the pattern, right? The pattern and the yarn. But if you want to download the Suki slipover PDF, then we'll send you a direct link if you write Suki1.
Suki1, and that is spelled SUKI1.
Yeah.
So same way as the name of the pattern, and
Suki!
then you just put a little one at the end. It's not Suki from True Blood. She's spelled differently. I think. No, she's spelled exactly like this, actually.
No, she's spelled with a double O.
Are you sure, or do you think that's the pronunciation? That's how Bill pronounces it, but she's actually spelled Suki. Like,
did anybody else watch that show?
I love True Blood.
I actually got until a certain season, and then I kept falling asleep.
Many shows,
I keep falling asleep on the couch.
Yeah.
But I love that show. Loved it. So yes,
obsessed with it.
CC50 if you want a link to buying yourself Friends Kitsilk for 50% off in the next 24 hours. This is in case you want to get yarn for the Suki slipover, or maybe you just want to get your hands on some Kitsilk, which never too bad to have. It's kind of like, I love having a lot of mohair at home and a lot of cotton. That's my two go-to must-have lot in my stash. Must-have
for me,
all of it.
For me it's mohair and then usually merino. Those are my holy grail ones.
Holy grail. But yeah, so we're gonna send you a little PDF. If you write Suki1, then you can also go over the pattern itself. But let's check a little bit the yarn before we actually move on forward and do our little unboxing. So it says here, in case you guys want to order, it says here that we would need, depending on the size of the pattern, which goes from an S to a double XL. I'm going to be making the double XL.
I'll be making the large, the size L.
But you're smaller than an
I
L.
want it to be like nice and oversized because I really like that.
Ah, okay.
Because I asked Maria and
Then
she
it makes
wasn't
sense.
sure what she was wearing on the picture, but she said it was either an M or an L.
I think
and then
it was
I
an
figured,
L.
and then I figured I'll go towards that because I really like that fit. I can really quickly, for those of you who are wondering what we're talking about, I'll quickly show you the picture that is our colleague Maria, the designer of this.
The designer,
Actually
Maria
wearing her own design,
Soltoft.
so it is this one.
I took those pictures.
They're very cute.
Thank you.
Very nice. But yeah, so this is the project that we've been talking
And
about.
I guess
This is
that's
Suki's
the look you
over.
were going for.
This is the look I'm going for. Yeah, I like the kind of really nice oversized.
That looks really, really good
vibe.
for people who don't have big breasts like I do. I'm gonna do a double XL. I actually want mine to be a slight more. I still want it oversized, but not that oversized look.
like a slightly more fitted look.
Yeah. Because I also think that for plus size bodies, it looks a little bit better. Because if I end up making a vest that is huge, then it's just gonna make
hang off
me
you, kind of.
and it's gonna make me look bigger.
Yeah.
And that's not my goal here. So for a double XL, like in my case, I would need 8 skeins of Friends Get Silk or 8 donuts. For your size, which is an L, you would need 6. For those tiny little people out there, I'm very jealous of you. You would need 5 skeins. For an M, 6 skeins once again. For a XL, 7. So 5 skeins for an S, 6 skeins for an M and an L, 7 skeins for a single XL, and 8 skeins for a double XL. That is how much you need.
Yeah, you can find that information in the pattern as well.
Exactly.
So before you buy, go on the website, check out the Suki slipover pattern, and you can and it also gives you all the measurements, of course.
Exactly.
So,
because that's very, very important as well, to really, really measure your circumference around your bust just to see which size fits the most. Of course, something very, very important actually that I talked to Maria about was the gauge. Because this pattern is worked using 3 strands at the same time. So you get that super fluffy look, right? And we are using 8mm crochet hooks, knitting needles, which is a size 11. It's a size 11. So that means that you have to be very, very concise on making sure that you match that gauge perfectly, because there's only 11 stitches for 15 rows on a 4x4 inch gauge swatch, or that's a 10 centimeters, 10 by 10 centimeters. And that means that if you're only off by 1 single stitch, so if you have 12 stitches instead of 11, then you're suddenly going to immediately increase size so much more than you actually would on a project that requires a gauge with I don't know, 20, 30 stitches, right?
It's definitely something
So
I can say
it
from
matters,
experience.
yes.
1 stitch on the gauge swatch can make a massive difference on a sweater or on any kind of wearable. It can make a massive difference.
Yeah, especially if it's you know, if you knit it with
because
big needles.
you rarely
like this.
ever make anything in 10 centimeter squares. You usually cast on 100 stitches, and on 100 stitches, that's quite a difference.
Yeah. So what's super important eventually, for whoever is starting this project, 8mm gauge swatch. Make sure that after you wash it and block it, muy importante, Maria said, wash it and block it and then measure. That's how we actually should be getting the gauge. So after washing and blocking, very important. I even highlighted it with like yellow there. I was like, make sure to remember. All right, so I think it's time to unpack our little gifts.
I haven't seen it yet because Jaya ordered it, and I actually had briefly forgotten which color I had chosen.
Did you forget?
No, I remembered it, but I was like, I had to think of it for a second. I was like, which one did I go for again?
I have received it here. I opened it, as you can see, because I didn't know. Okay, I opened it because I didn't really know what was in the bag.
Had you ordered multiple things, like something for you privately, and then?
Yes, I have it. Or I had like 2 more packages coming in, and I didn't know which one it was. So I just cracked it open a bit. And I was like, "Is this?" Oh no, it's not. Oh, it's for that one. So yeah, I'm going to just go ahead and close this down so that, yes, where is it? Where is it? So that Luisa stops looking at herself. Where is the? Can we use that?
Yeah.
I want to use the second camera. I want to show you guys.
Yes.
Let's go. Let's go, Lou.
Let's go.
Oh, it would be so cute if we could actually eventually make one where we have both, so they can also see our
so it's like-
reaction.
Oh, that would be cool.
Can't we do that?
You could, yeah, probably make Cam 2 smaller so that it's or
Of course
Cam
we can
1,
do that.
Right?
Look, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do a video capture device thingy.
Jaya knows how to do it.
Boom. Oh,
Hello. It's my
Hello.
forehead again.
hi, Lou.
Didn't we have this last time as well?
I
Where we
don't know.
Started messing around with the camera, and then suddenly everyone just got a close-up shot of my forehead for.
Well,
a
it's
full
a
minute.
beautiful head.
Thank you. Thank
It's
you.
a beautiful head. And then.
Thank you. I was born with it.
And then we'll also do another one where we wait. Oh, yes. So that at least they see something. And then we're gonna do another camera because this way, then we can group them, so we can actually, you know,
This is all the techie bits in real time.
we can group them.
Hello. Today I will be reacting to this.
Is this the half? Is this half?
It feels like it would be half-ish.
Kinda half-ish. That's pretty good, I would say, right, guys?
Yeah.
It's good.
Looks-
Okay, then we do Control G. Okay, it doesn't work. Then we will do. There is a grouping. Group select items, and then we'll call it split camera. We are so techie right now. Look, this is our usual, right? We would show it like this, but if we do this, boom!
Then I can react, and Jaya can too, when she's in frame.
I love it. I love it. Okay, let's get started. Lou, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
So, just gonna put my coffee away, and I'm gonna get to it. So this is our order. Wow, wow, wow. And as you can see, I got a little greedy here,
Yeah,
and I
one of
ordered
us
2
did.
colors. It's me who got greedy, not Lou. Lou is an angel. I am the small little devil.
In all fairness, Jaya also works twice as fast as me, so she could probably actually work up 2 slipovers in the time it takes me to do one.
But that was
so.
the plan initially.
It's just
So of course I ordered for myself the green and the red, but I ordered, well, you ordered.
I chose.
And look,
It's very nice.
it's not only that it's nice, look,
It's very pretty,
Do
and
you-
also like our colors.
it's the new,
look-
it's the new little donuts that we're getting.
Oh, I'd forgotten about that.
I did not. So this is the old donut. Please focus. This is the old donut. Like they were more compact. You get the
Yeah.
same amount, but they're more compact.
Yes.
And then now
these
they're
are
like.
looser a little bit, and the label is also slightly different paper,
I'm gonna put them also like
slightly different material.
just so you can
Yeah,
see.
you can
Like
see.
it is. The new ones are way bigger. That's actually such a nice surprise because I was
So that way
wondering.
we can showcase that as well.
Oh, so cute.
Very nice.
All right, so I'm actually this.
All the
your
specs stay the same,
color-
by the way. So you get the same yardage, you get the same everything. It's just the way it's wound up is slightly different.
Yeah.
It's so nice and fluffy.
Is there any way on how I can maybe? Come on, there we go. There we go, Lulu. So you're gonna be a little bit more centered. Beautiful.
I'm not
All
the
right.
only perfectionist here, very obviously.
All right, so super cute, Lou. You have 6 because for Luisa's
Yeah, size medium to large uses.
a 6 skeins. For the chunky girl here, I have 8
I
of
only have
each.
5 right here. I'm assuming
Oh,
there's a sixth
6,
one in there.
6.
Good.
Sorry,
I was like,
6. And of course, I talked a little bit with. I'm actually gonna do another thing. Are you ready? This is so
Yeah.
crazy. I'm going
What is
full tech
happening?
in here.
It's like
I'm
you're-
gonna
you're
add
like a true,
another
like-
cam 1.
you're like a true director.
I'm gonna put the cam 1 in. Oh, hello.
Hello.
I'm actually wondering if I could maybe.
Put yourself and me, like put both of us.
Yeah, it's just so that I can split it.
This is lovely because this is exactly what we're normally, except it's not too like if I do this, I like reach out of one frame into the other. This is
That's true.
Like it's a fun magic trick.
Because then I can do like this, you know,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then,
yeah.
you know,
So
and
that
I'm
you're
talking
also like that it's not just your
Yeah.
bodiless voice.
my bodiless voice. But something that I actually did notice, and I wrote it down in my little notes here, is that, or this is something actually that Maria said to me, very, very, like she really made sure to mention this, which was
It's the best.
exactly the needle sizes, because yes, perfect. Okay, wait. I need cam I need cam 1 now. Dude. Because I asked her, so of course, you know, is there something you would personally recommend in terms of needles? Because we would like to also include some needles on the website.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't have needles, but then Maria did mention, and I agree with her, they're very personal.
Yeah.
So I can't expect anybody to go ahead and buy wooden needles when they prefer to work with
Aluminum
metal.
or yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, the ones I got for us are the pony.
Riding my pony.
Yes, those ones. So I got the pony ones. These are actually not Hobbii branded, and they are the. Oh, I got a candy. I got a candy. Do you want the candy?
I'm good for now.
I'll take the candy
I was gonna
later.
say like
We can keep it for tomorrow for Matt. Matt loves candy.
yeah.
All right, we'll keep it, or for next week, because tomorrow's Friday, so I'm
Yeah.
not sure if he's gonna come into the office on Fridays.
No.
He works from
Doubtful.
home. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, then we'll keep it for Monday for him.
Or later.
Dude. Oh yeah, or later.
He's coming in
because
for the bingo. So.
Okay, yeah, true.
We'll have a
Alright.
little surprise for him.
All right.
Throw it at his face.
But of course, if I am to really recommend needles that are great for Kitzel, because obviously metal needles. So I have some of these Stellar. Do I have the Stellar here? Do we
I
have
think
the Stellar
so.
here?
We should have.
There it
We
is.
have one of them here.
This is not Stellar.
We have the short.
Yes, we have the short
Is
ones.
it Betula then?
But
I don't remember which one's the
but
metal,
these
which one's
one
the
go
wood.
up until 6 centimeters. So we need eight
need the
milli-
larger
eight-
size.
exactly. But go for some if you can, and if you have the option, try it out with both. See what feels more comfortable for you. If it feels like, you know, just knit half a swatch with metal and half a swatch with wooden, and see what feels best. But I got us these, so you
I
get.
was 100% happy to go with Jaya's recommendation on this one because I know nothing.
The reason I went with a pony in this particular case is that I love that they have very, very flexible wood.
Mm-hmm.
And your hands actually don't get that tired. So it's really, really, really nice. Yeah. 3 wood natural from... It's 3 natural woods, 3 wood natural, 3 natural woods from
It's the name of our
sustainable
indie band.
forests have been compressed together to offer you smooth, strong, and flexible pins. And it's free from artificial dyes. So I love these. These are really, really nice. And they're great to work with. They're so comfortable, and they, like I said, they are flexible, and you're gonna see the more you work with them and they warm up a little bit, it's also like really, really nice to have them in your hand. All right, so we have 2 needle sizes. We have a 40 centimeter and an 8, yeah, which is 4 centimeters, and we have the 80 centimeters, which is the
You get
long
the
ones.
40 for the ribbing and the
Yes.
80 like for the
Yes, and you know what? The pattern itself asks for a 1 meter long cable. You do you, boo. Try it on. If you have the 1 meter, go for it. I did not want to go with a 1 meter one because I think that I wouldn't use it for anything else. So
more versatile to go for the
exactly.
And I think even for the smaller sizes, the pattern actually calls for an 80. I think it's for the larger
Yeah,
sizes. And then you were
it's
like,
actually
oh, I
from
can
L.
adapt.
It's actually only
Yeah.
from the L that asks
So-
for that. So
These
with
feel
that in
very
mind,
nice.
with that in mind, What's gonna happen is that I think I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start the project with the green.
These match so nicely.
I don't know if I should go with the green or the red. The red
In
is
case
beautiful.
you're wondering, so this is the color 17, the one that I got, which is I think called cognac, if I remember correctly.
Cognac.
So that's the one I went for because I like the kind of rust orange, and I love that it matches yours so well. Like these two look like they're made to go together.
And this is color 109 for the green one. Look at this beauty.
Very pretty.
Very pretty. And then I also have the red orange 127, which is my new obsession. The camera does not do it justice.
No.
It's too bright on this side, I think. Oh, the other side. From that side, I think we would have to. But it's basically very orangey red.
Yeah, it's lovely.
And I'm gonna start off with the green because I know that you are crocheting something for me in this color.
Maybe.
So maybe now it's a maybe.
No, it's a definite. It's a definite. Yes,
I know you started on
like,
it, but I have
let's see how
insulted you
long.
today.
Maybe.
When I made the page for Craft and Chat, I wrote that I invite you guys to join us in learning how to knit. And not only it's a fun experience and it's fun and this and that, and you get 50% off on the yarn and this and that, but also you get to actually do something else than just...
I'm gonna just quote you directly. What it says is create a beautiful vest instead of another scarf.
I'm so sorry.
And I also
so
saw
sorry.
it like a minute before we pressed record, and I was like, excuse me, Miss Ma'am.
I'm sorry. And it was not with that intention. I swear to God, it was mostly with the intention that, you know, when people are learning how to crochet or when
How to
people
knit,
are learning how to
yes.
knit, what do? They make a kitchen cloth if you're learning how to crochet, or you eventually make a scarf if you learn how to knit. Correct or not?
100%.
And the purpose of this cal is to actually empower those of you who want to learn how to knit and actually end up,
me.
including you, and actually have something you can wear.
Yes.
Like on your body, like a wearable, like a clothing item that is not a scarf,
Yeah.
which is also... it sounds bad no matter how much I put it.
It is completely fine. Yeah, she's digging that grave lower and lower and lower for herself.
I'm sorry.
Right? No.
I'm sorry, Lou.
But it was very funny when we went through like all the different colors because we looked at a lot of them, as many of them as we could find IRL here at the office.
Yeah.
And because of course I'm a huge green lover, so I was initially drawn to a lot of the greens, but I don't actually wear that many greens. But I have a pair of corduroy pants that are kind of this very dark kind of army green olive tone, and I really really like the idea of the vest matching that, and so that's why I picked this
It's gonna look
beautiful burnt
beautiful.
orange because
It's
I
gonna
kind of
look
thought,
beautiful.
oh, that's gonna look so cool and like natural and like.
It's gonna look so good. You're gonna see.
I'm very excited.
So I chose this olive green. What even
It's
is
so
this
pretty. I think
color?
it's
It's
called olive.
pear. Isn't it called pear?
I think it might actually be called olive.
I'm gonna
I mean,
check
we
it
have
out.
one that is called olive. I'm just now not 100% sure if that's the one. That you
Olive.
got.
It is
Yeah.
olive. Okay, because it's more like a. If I would have to pick a focus, it's because they sees your face. I would think that this is more like a pear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I would
That matches.
I would do olive like with maybe like a dark or something in between these two, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But anyway, olive, beautiful color, love it. I'm excited about this. The reason I chose this color was because a few years back we had I had a sweater on that was made out of that particular color, and everybody complimented me so much.
Oh, that's
It was
nice.
insane. Everybody was complimenting and saying, "Oh, you look so pretty!" Like, "Oh, I really love that color on you." And I was like, "Okay, you know what? It's just time." So I wanted to make a slip over so that I can actually wear, because that sweater was a little bit too thick.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna die of heat if I have to actually wear that going now into
The
spring.
lovely thing about this as well, because it is so airy and light, like it's done on 8mm needles, right? If you look at I've already pulled a little thread out, but if you look at how thin the yarn is and then look at how chunky those needles are, right? So even with using 3 strands, you're gonna get this very nice airy kind of texture and like this very nice structure, and it's great because you just pop that on over a t-shirt. You can wear that in Denmark well into May, well
Oh,
into June.
yeah,
And then on a
exactly,
cold
June too.
evening, you just pop that on again. Like, so it's very, very versatile. And then in
Yeah.
the winter, you just wear it with like a long sleeve, and
Yeah.
you've got really a wearable for the
And
whole
the
year.
Suki has loose fit, deep armholes, and wide shoulders. And let me tell you that what I noticed that there's a huge resurgence of maxi dresses going
Yeah.
on, and you really want to be able to have like these wide armholes
Yeah.
if you have a maxi dress that you want to try on or like wear, because then you can
Yeah.
it fits
Yeah, it fits over, and it's still
over
like
a dress.
drapes nicely on
Yes,
top of it, rather
yes.
than
Then
yeah.
being like, you
a
know,
very
then
Scandi
pulling
style
up
right now.
your because
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So it's perfect for maxi dresses, which I'm all about, right?
All about that dress. About
the
that dress.
the slip over is worked bottom up, so I feel like that is just a little bit challenging, because then we're gonna have to cast on so many stitches at the beginning, but that also means that it's a really, really nice way of actually advancing quite a lot, because when you work from bottom, usually when you start a sweater and it's bottom down,
top down.
thank you, the brain is currently
It's not braining.
it's not braining, but when you work top down, it's very, very simple and it's nice, and you're like, wow, this is so cool, I love it. It's like you start small and then you start to increase, and then you keep increasing, and then it keeps increasing, and then it takes longer, and then you keep increasing and it takes longer and longer, and I hate that.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I love myself a circular project, love top down, but I also really, really like bottom up.
Yeah.
Because then you get with it like annoying part, you get to do that first.
Yeah.
And then it's like it just the boost of dopamine that you get from finishing is better.
Yeah, I think for me, as someone who gets discouraged a lot if I don't see progress, I think what helps here is that once you've done sort of the bottom ribbing, you can already, like, that's already the bottom part of your sweater done. And then it's a lot of, like, repetition until you reach, like, the armholes kind of. So to me, I think what is encouraging to me is that I think this is going to be something, because I know this is like, I know there's a lot of you out there who thrive on patterns that challenge you, where you have to kind of constantly keep focused, but I'm actually someone, I really thrive on, once I hit my stride, just repetition.
Yes.
And so I think for me, this is going to be really good, because it's all worked in stockinette, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
So just...
Yes. So what we're going to be doing in today's episode is start on our swatch, actually.
Nice. Because
check
your gauge before you get
yes.
going.
Maria really made sure to
hammer that home.
Yes. Please make sure the gauge swatch fits, and she said that last week, and she said that this week, and she wrote it in the pattern. Then she made sure to like also highlight it in the pattern, and it's crazy. But yes, and she has a very she it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Because then you would have 11 stitches by 15 rows. That's what we need to get. So get your little tiny needles, and before I begin, you can already start if you feel like it.
Find my inner threads first before I do anything.
That is so cute. I'm gonna be all. I'm gonna go from the
outside.
Yeah.
I'm
not. I mean, the only reason I would do inner and outer, as in like opposed to outer, is if I actually start on a same skein at the same time.
Yeah. For me, it's actually because I think I'm gonna, in order to keep up with this. So we do intend for this to be a series over the next few weeks, obviously, especially because we've only, for some of you, maybe only told you about it today if you weren't here last time when we kind of decided on it quite impromptu. So that means, of course, don't feel stressed that you're already behind. Like we said, this is supposed to be a really fun little learning experience.
You are not behind.
There's no way you can fall behind on this. Also,
No.
because these videos stay up on Facebook for a while, so you can still watch them after and
yeah. But I mean, also
YouTube.
the best part is that it's nice that you can do these live with us, but I also think
like, I'm sorry, I feel like I'm pushing
okay.
you out of
No,
frame
you're
now
not,
that I've
you're
moved
not, you're
over.
not. But I also feel like it is very, very nice to do this together, or at least get started on one of the parts together, and then meet up and see, okay, how far are you guys going? But and I'm thinking that by next week I'm also going to create some sort of like a chat of some sort on
Nice.
Messenger so that I can give you support. I know that you don't use Facebook
I'm not,
Messenger,
so
so but I am. So I'm just gonna create maybe like a super private, extremely exclusive, only for those who are actually joining and making the slip over with us.
that's very nice.
So your guys are gonna have the sufficient time to buy your yarn today, get it by next week at some point. Next week you can do your gauge swatch, or do your gauge swatch as soon as you get the yarn. Hopefully it's before the next event, and we'll see also how the chat feels, if it's like too behind, or if you guys got it in time or not, and we'll move on.
So yeah, do not stress yourselves. No, but I was thinking, for me, taking it, I always take it from the inner if I know I'm going to be working on the train.
Yeah,
Because if I kind of have them in the bag and I'm pulling out, it gets tangled so easily if the skein itself spins around itself. That's why I've gotten very used to just always picking from the inside now.
I completely get it. I completely get it. There's another thing that is actually quite nice about the Suki Slipover, and that is that this pattern is so simple that is extremely customizable. Not only from, you know, oh, do you want to have like maybe longer ribbing at the bottom? Do you want to make this pattern shorter, you know, for a more modern 2025, 2024, 2025 look where girls are wearing the crop tops and so forth? Or do you want to have it a little longer for those of us who have bigger bums and want to hide the bums? And, you know, like, it's really, really customizable. It's all about, you know, how long or short you want to have it. And it's also customizable in terms of what kind of yarn you're using and what kind of colors you're using. And of course we're doing it in a solid color, but, and this is where I'm really happy, the Suki Slipover is perfect also for leftovers. So if you have mohair scraps, then this is the time to use them, because you are working with 3 strands at the same time. So that means that if you have a lot of different colors, just combine them, go crazy, don't even think about what you're doing,
create your own your own kind of gradient situation.
Not even gradient, just go full on clown, you know. Be
no,
happy,
but like,
make a happy summery,
have like
colorful, flowery,
kind of like the bubblegum sweater vibe, where
yeah.
you just switch, whenever one color runs out, you switch it to the next one, and then you just go in, or make stripes. I mean, if you want stripes, make stripes by all means, but I really love the kind of just wild, like. But I think for a beginner project for myself, I'm glad that we're sticking with like the simple version, because I don't want to overcomplicate it for myself. But assuming that many of you maybe are already more experienced knitters and have some scraps lying around, just go for it.
All right, so like I said, the gauge swatch asks for, let me just also, how do I split camera is on, and I love that we can still see our bestie here. Cam 1, there we go. Are you nervous?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I just got out YouTube because this is one, like I said,
I can show you.
Secret.
Don't worry.
Because I, like, anytime I need to knit anything, I have to look it up on YouTube.
I will totally show you how to cast on. Don't worry about it. That's why we're here.
And we are on, like, 15 or something for now because of the swatch, right?
Exactly. And we are not going to be upset with each other for not remembering how to cast on. So, where am I? I'm here.
You are there.
Wow. I hope that this is kind of flipped. I wonder if I can unflip it somehow. Like rotate. Can I rotate the camera so that you guys can also see what I'm doing? Well, we will learn. And oh, okay, oopsie.
Oh, because they're grouped together. So if you flip it now, then it's gonna be me, Spider-Man style.
No,
flipped.
not unless I actually, you know, do this.
Nice.
Can I flip? Let's see if we do this. Okay. Transform,
like the
order.
tech producer here. Like.
Oh god, this is so bad. How do I flip?
Yeah, you
vertical.
Can yes.
What? Look at that. You are now entering a new era of Jaya Technician 2025. All right, babies. So grab your 3 strands of mohair. Mine looks like this. And yes, I love how
Like,
you're
I
like.
mean business. I'm now like, I'm just like, I need to show me the wisdom.
You grab onto your not long tail, your short tail here, and basically you take your needles, choop, and you see I've put my needle like okay, wait, I'm gonna eventually get so good at this. You guys just need to be a little more patient with me. What if I'm to zoom in? It's
High tech.
what? Okay, there it is, right? And what we want to do is do a little flippy. Of course, you can also just make a small little, what do you call it? Make a little loop that you do yourself, right?
Like a little slip knot.
Like a little slip knot, exactly. And make sure you have enough to cast on say we're doing 15 stitches, okay?
Yeah.
And the way you could count technically is by wraps per needle. So we would just wrap it around our needle however many stitches we need. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And then that's where I know I need to make my little slip knot. Boop. All right. And then as you insert your needle in the little loopy doopy you made, you grab your yarn and you make kind of like a diamond shape. You see, it's kind of like a diamond shape when you look at it this way.
Tail to the front and skein to the back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. And then
so far so good. I've got it.
I hope that this is people can see what I'm doing. So I'm kind of like holding both down here, and then I wrap one of the sides around my index and one around my thumb. And then what you want to do in this little diamond shape is take your needle, go down here. You see, I pull it down basically. So that's the first movement. You go from this shape to pulling it down.
Below the thumb.
Below the thumb. And then you see on the thumb you created this kind of like a shape. You want to go underneath it. Do it. And then you go. Oh my god, this is actually harder to explain live than I thought. You go under this one over here on your index, underneath it as well, and then once again underneath the strand you have from your thumb. I will look to see if you got it right. It's just a matter of like doing it once or twice, and then you kind of have it under control. So one more time, like this, and like this. That's our second strand. Now you are working with mohair, and we are working with wooden needles, so you're gonna see that it's gonna be a little bit hard to work with, so you have to not cast on too tightly.
That is already good, because look how tight I've already pulled those. So let's just move those off my needle and start over. Because I mean, I crochet very tightly, so it stands to reason that I would also knit quite tightly.
But then that just means that you have to basically go up in size, and I hope not, because I bought already the 8mm.
We'll see if I'll make it match my gauge. Even though Katie Jones once said to me, like, never match your knitting to the needle, always match the needle to your knitting or crocheting in that case. Yes. But you know what? I'm not listening to her. She's not here. She'll never see this. Okay, but it's under, up, through. Right?
Yes, perfect. Cool. Oh my god, you got it so good.
I have cast on once or twice before. It's just like I said, I have to look at an instruction for it every single time I do it. And so
that's
seeing
me.
You do it in real time was very helpful.
That is me doing it with the Italian cast on. That's one
the more
annoying
flexible one, right? That's what you do for like, and also cast off for like if you want something.
If you want the look, if you want the look to look very professional. But that's a very difficult and annoying cast on. I love it though. I love it. It's like spicy food, you know. It's like spicy but really delicious food. It's torture,
Yeah.
but then it's so good, you know.
Spicy food.
All right, so 3, 4, 5. Let's go. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I'm gonna do a little more. 16.
Yeah, I have a very long tail, so.
Okay. So that is our little cast on over there. And of course we need to have the the gauge made in stockinette. So that means that on one side we purl and on the other I'll help, don't worry.
Yeah. But still, because I was so happy when I saw like stockinette in the round, because in the round you obviously don't have to worry about your like left rows.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, but it's just for a small little swatch.
And I mean, I'm gonna need to purl for the ribbing as well, so it's
Exactly.
better to confront your fears before it gets too bad. It's just for those of you who don't know, like my biggest struggle with knitting is that when I first learned how to purl, I somehow taught myself wrong. I taught myself my friend refers to it as the lazy lefty, where basically all my purls are twisted, which makes them then, when I'm on my next row, when I'm supposed to be knitting, it makes the stitches very tight, so then I have to knit through sort of the back loop or whatever you call it on knitting. And
you're basically twisting then your knits too.
Well, yeah, I have to untwist them basically in order.
Okay,
yeah, it's basically I have to kind of work them to twist backwards so that I can then on the left twist them again without it getting tighter and tighter and tighter. So anyway, I hope what's going to happen is that I'm going to learn from the best here, and I'm actually going to learn how to do it properly, and then just won't have to deal with that problem. I mean, but I kind of thought I was going to be able to push that problem into next week maybe, and then I forgot that, of course, because the swatch is done in rows, I would have to purl on it.
But I'm starting the gauge with obviously the wrong side, so that means that I'm gonna be purling on the wrong side, which I'm doing here. I'm gonna show you in a second. I prefer to just do it and then eventually I'm gonna show you, Lou, how to do it. And if you see here what I'm doing is, because I'm being a little lazy, I've knitted my I purled in my tail as well, because I cannot be bothered to sew it in afterwards, or
That's so smart. That is too advanced for me.
No, it's not. It's really easy. You're just
also look at how long my tail is. I was very generous with this yarn.
Which is fine, because you never want to like run out of it's so annoying when you run out of it. Yeah. It's like, ugh.
Yeah, one thing that I think is, I mean, probably most of you would be thinking of is that as this is 3 strands of mohair, you can frog it, but maybe only you can't frog it that often, especially not if you've knitted it very tightly like me.
I have to check, because I have I actually have what do you call it, a small little I remember that I have actually the need to talk to somebody from our team about maybe potentially also getting the links to the tutorials added into our live event. You know what I mean? So then this way, you guys, if you're having troubles like learning how do I purl, how do I knit, we can also send you
to the YouTube.
Right? Maybe I can go and give them a call, see if they can do it, and if they can do it now, because obviously we can't take care of it now, but maybe they could.
Yeah.
Because that would be kind of cool, because then you can actually have the links to the. Of course, you can also look on YouTube.
You could go. Yeah, you could YouTube it yourself, but why not make it as easy for us as possible? But today, no one's going to be able to work along anyway, so maybe we'll just.
No, Christian is still online, so he can help me out,
and he'll hook it up. Perfect.
Okay, I'm gonna go call him. 2 minutes. Then meanwhile, just see what you
Meanwhile,
have going
I'll chat with you about my.
on. You can try and see if you can maybe have you casted on your little stitches?
I have.
You have 15?
I have 18 actually, because I went a little over, because once I realized that I'm going too tight, I was like,
Okay,
let's do a few.
do one more. Do one more. Then this
Do a
way you will
19?
have do 19 and then on your
I was
first.
Like, how do I even do that anymore? I've already forgotten.
Perfect.
Like, I had to double
Okay.
check.
I'll call Christian really quickly. Let's see what he
Alrighty.
says.
This is behind the scenes as live as it gets, because there are some things we just can't do from here. Like, we have to set this up in advance, which just goes to show the difference between this and like a live shopping where we have everything under control, because we can like set up so much of it ahead of time. It's like, but we'll figure some way out for you guys to have a link to some tutorials as well. So if you are like me and you need a tutorial still to get yourself into the knitting spirit, yeah, that way you have that as a resource available to you, because like I said, I look up every single time. I look up on YouTube how do I actually do this? How do I do that? Partly to avoid, you know, having that moment.
I'm back.
That was fast.
Yeah, because I have a really he said that he can help me,
Yeah.
but in 15 minutes, and that I have to help him do it
Do
as
it.
well.
Okay.
So I figured I will just stay with you for 15 more minutes, and then I'll go do it so that you guys can get all of the links of how to cast on, how to knit, how to purl, how to cast off, how to make a rib.
Yeah.
Basically all of them. We'll just do like a link of all of them.
Yeah.
But I have to send him the links to the tutorials first. So
Don't have
let's
that much time left
get into
anymore.
exactly.
Sorry, quiet.
But let's go into
Let's
your
go.
purling.
Okay, so
So show me how you purl.
Katrina asked me the same thing last week, and do you know what I did? I did something that is, it's not even how I
Okay,
purl. It's completely
I have
different.
an idea.
Too.
I have a different idea
But-
because
okay,
your
let's see.
project is going to be very, very tight.
Yes, it is.
So I'm gonna purl and knit, and then you can do the following, so that
Yeah, so that there's already some stitches
little
there,
bit
so
of-
I'm not going
yeah,
into my
exactly.
very, very tightly. See, that's the problem. I'm just very tightly wound. That's just how I roll. I'm just too.
Well, I actually don't think that you've. It's actually a really nice amount of tension you have going on.
Yeah.
I actually
Do you-
really think it's okay.
You also knit continental style, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I briefly, when I realized, so my friend taught me how to knit, like the very basics of it, and this was about a year before I started working at Hobbii, so this was pandemic times, because she's a very, very big knitter, and so she kind of liked the idea of us being able to do this together, because we were kind of in our bubble, and we were like basically the one person each other was hanging out. We were also roommates, so like we lived together, but like, you know, therefore we were kind of this automatic little bubble. And so she was like, in the evenings whenever we were like watching a movie, she was knitting, and so it was very much like, I'll teach you how to do it. And I was like, yeah, sure, I love the idea of a new hobby. I just finished my master's. I had no idea what was happening. I had nothing else to do. And I really enjoyed it at first. I obviously learned how to do like just knit stitches first, like that I was okay at. And then when she taught me how to purl, I was like, oh, perfect, I'll keep going, I'll do it. And then after a while I was like, yeah, it's so weird. Anytime I do my purl rows, that's super easy, but then when I get to my knit rows, I struggle so much because the stitches are so tight. And she was like, that makes no sense. Like, why? Show me. And then I showed her. And she's like, no, you've learned, you're doing it wrong. And I was like, oh. But then because weirdly, like muscle memory or something, I was unable to change how I was doing it. So I briefly considered just learning how to do it English style, because that was so different from what I was doing that I was hoping that would essentially break the thing.
Yeah.
And then I discovered crocheting and gave up on knitting. No, not really. Then I started working at Hobbii, didn't have time for anything. Then I tried knitting again, and then I just started crocheting.
Oh no.
Because then came the baby blanket that I've told many times the story. The baby ribbon, as I now sometimes call it.
All right, there you go. Now you have a little bit going on for
Cool.
you.
Okay. So,
And let me see what you're doing.
okay, so
Maybe we can also show it on camera, because
I'll
I'd
try.
love for people
Please
to...
don't laugh at me, everyone.
Why would they laugh at you? Like they have no reason to laugh at you.
But okay.
Okay, let's see. Let's maybe put full on cam 2 on.
Okay.
There we go.
Right. So for purling, you'd have your
Just a sec. Let's see. Is it?
yarn in front, right?
Yeah.
Oh god, Now I'm trying to remember how I would normally do it. I think. Yeah, I think I would. No, that doesn't seem right. Show me once how you do it, just so
I have to.
Oh, you're on your knit row.
Just a
Sorry.
sec.
I'm just trying to figure out how I would, because like it's been a while as well. Like I think I genuinely just go in and essentially just scoop up the strand like this. Like I think that's how I do it. Like just going in, scooping it up like this.
You're slipping then.
Yeah, basically I'm just like, oh fuck.
You're doing a good job actually, though.
Fuck. Excuse me. You did not hear that. I did not say that. So it's like it's the real my least controlled self is coming out when it comes to knitting. But yeah, this is I think how I
feel
taught
like
myself to do it.
A lot of people
So I just
really
essentially
resonate with you, Louisa.
I essentially just go in and I just kind of scoop it around like this. So
But
like
you-
the super. This makes no sense. Why do I not remember how to do this? Yeah, but I
Yes.
think this is how I do it.
Yeah,
So I
so
essentially-
you're basically just twisting it, which
Yeah,
is so it's fine. It's
So-
so it's perfect, and it is the simplest way to do it.
Exactly.
Technically
Which,
speaking,
you know, find a lazy
technically
person.
speaking- technically speaking, it is actually the original correct way on how to do it.
Oh.
But machines have an easier way of doing it the way we are doing it here,
Yeah.
so that's why it is
That's
going to
why-
switch around. Okay, so a really easy way to
Oh,
work
Pay
is
close attention.
okay, so wait. This is my. Can I zoom in? Yes, I can.
I have a weird question. Like, I'll watch you first, and then I'll need your help.
So, these are my stitches, of course, and what I do is that I hold down my yarn right when I begin like this with my little thumb, and you basically stick it, stick the
stab
switch
it in.
exactly, and then what I do, it's just kind of like what you said, because you said you tried mixing. That is what I do,
Yeah.
basically, but I wrap it around, and then as I wrap my strand around like this, right, I also pull it down so that I secure my project, and then I can just simply scoop it away.
Yeah, and exactly like compared to
So
mine.
one more
yeah,
time, just want to show you guys.
Yeah.
I stab the little stitch, so you have the little loop there. You stab it from inside like this. I scoop-a-doo. Oops. I scoop the little. Of course, you can also do the Norwegian pearl, which is really, really easy, but it's also very complex. How was it? No. Let me remember.
Is it like the idea that you don't have to switch your
Yes.
thread from front to behind?
Yeah,
basically?
exactly.
Ah, interesting.
Oh, I can't remember now how to do it. It's really weird because my brain is so wired to doing this
Yeah.
style that I do. But I found that for myself, this was the weirdest and easiest way to do.
Yeah.
Because you see, all I have to do is just this. I scoop my yarn, I pull through, and then I pull and pull
Yeah.
and pull. And I've been doing it. I've had projects where I've only did the Norwegian, and then I had projects where I've obviously only did this. And I also had projects where you do that really weird twisty wisty,
Yeah.
like the pew 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 one, you know, the where you scoop it like this.
Mm-hmm.
This is what Katrina does basically.
So she has really no room to talk when she was like bemused by my. To be fair, she was bemused because the first time I tried to show her how I do it, I couldn't remember how I did it, so I did something completely weird. It was like this is not a technique anywhere.
Okay, so show me how.
I mean, I've now done a few more, and so I just remembered. Like, the thing is, I just basically go the easiest way, which is just, like, in my mind, like, I just go in, scoop it around, and then
But
move it down,
my-
basically.
but
So they end up being, like, yeah, twisted around. But with that, I do think that it makes sense for this project for me to
you need
try and
to,
do it properly.
yeah, exactly.
Which is now my question. How do I get the ones that I've now already done back? How do I go about that? Can I save it, or do I have to just start over?
yeah. Of course you can save it. So check it out. You would have these stitches here, right? That are just created now. and you have these loops underneath.
Yeah, the old ones
So
that I went
exactly.
into.
So you just go in with your yarn in the loops that are underneath.
Okay.
Like you see, I put my needle in the loop, and I pull, loop, and I pull.
So that would be this one here that I go into?
Yes,
So
exactly.
it would be this one, and then I just throw this one off
Yeah,
the needle.
yeah.
And I mean, obviously I have to scooch this all the way
Exactly.
forward.
So,
Okay.
like this, and you pull.
And that way I have my stitch back on my needle.
Exactly.
My previous one. Perfect.
Doot. And then you go
Then
back
I'm
as
gonna
much
do
as you
that.
need.
And then I'm gonna commit to learning how to purl properly this time. Fun fact, because when my friend taught me how to knit, but I didn't see any of the terminology written out, I thought it was purl stitch as in like the pearl that comes from an oyster. It wasn't until I started working at Hobbii that I saw purl written out and was like, oh, that's how you spell pearl. That makes sense.
Oh, you thought it was pearl?
Pearl,
like
as in like a pearl stitch. Yeah, because she just like
Aw.
said it. She was like, yeah, and this is what's called a pearl stitch. And then because in German we just call it a left stitch.
Okay.
So German
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
use any of the other terminology. It just says, yeah, this is a left stitch. So I then, because of course my role predominantly had me helping out German customers with patterns and stuff, I didn't really need to know the English terminology for a long time. But yeah, so pearl, not to be confused with
a
pearl.
pearl. Split camera again, just so that we can have.
Hello.
Yes.
See my face contorted in concentration.
It's okay. So let me know if I need to show you again how to purl. I'd love to. This is how I purl one more time. Where am I? I'm here. So I scoop the basically the right leg from underneath. I wrap my yarn around my needle, and then I just pull out. At least that's what I do it. That's how I do it.
Oh my god. Okay, I've managed to trace back to almost. I've just got to get this loop on the needle, I think, and then I think I
You're
should
so
be.
good at this. Don't worry about it. You're doing super well. Let's
Jaya's
let's
checking
see.
my work.
Okay,
Miss
there's
Miss
just
Jaya, I need help. I'm stuck.
okay. Knit.
Knit.
There we go.
Nice. Cool. Okay, so now I'm
Shoop.
going to learn how to purl
The
properly.
right way. So, like I
Or at
said,
least the
this
Jaya
is
way.
this is the easiest way that I can recommend to somebody who really doesn't,
Who?
who just can't get there. Like they just can't understand, because that is
Boop, boop,
also what
boop.
that is also how I.
We
how
all
I,
know her.
I wonder if I can. No, it has to be too low like
Okay.
this. So
Yarn before my project because we're purling. I like the holding it down with your thumb because that also creates, like, it takes a little bit of the tension out, because I'm so, like, I think it's because I always use my index finger to pull tension, and it's just always like erect.
Yeah,
Like it's
yeah.
always like pulling at its
Yeah,
maximum
yeah, yeah,
capacity.
yeah.
So having like a little counterweight with your thumb, I think is really good.
I
Cool.
feel like that's also something that I would also struggle with when I switch from crocheting and knitting. And I notice, because I tend, when I crochet, to wrap my yarn on twice.
And-
Like I wrap it twice like this when I crochet. You see on my thumb.
Yeah.
But I actually only need to do it once
Yeah.
on knitting, because my tension is a little bit
Yeah.
like. So it's just a yeah. So tell me, what can I help you with?
I'm just gonna like do a quick one with supervision, basically.
Let's see. Let's see what you have.
Right. So got my stitch here,
Yes.
going in,
Yes. Wrap
Right.
this around.
and I'll wrap it. And that is the thing I do wrong, right?
Yeah, because you
for
go from
some
underneath
reason
it.
I like find it easier to go from under instead of wrapping over. And I
Yes.
think that's literally. And then I just have to make sure that I also actually wrap so that
exactly.
it goes.
Yeah, exactly.
It goes
that you
down.
Wrap it. Yeah.
It's not just me
have to go
going
down.
in,
You
me
have to-
going in. It's not just me going in, grabbing it. It's like needs to go down then.
You need to wrap it around, not
And-
scooping it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
But now I can go through, right? And pull
Yes.
it off.
So
Okay.
You're doing good. I'm gonna tell you by the end of today, you're gonna learn how to
Right.
purl.
So, and then again, we're going in,
Yes.
and we actually wrap. No, we're going back on. We're going in, and we're actually wrapping around.
Yes.
Like
And then you
so,
scooping.
and then
Yes.
scoop.
Yes.
Cool.
But try and see if you can potentially do the wrapping around using your thumb. Now I'm knitting, so I'll just give me 1 second.
Of course, I'll try one more.
Because if you try to learn to do the wrapping with your thumb, then it gives you a little bit more flexibility with your hands.
Yeah, because I'm then.
Yeah, you're like you don't have to keep dropping your project every single time you have to, you know.
So?
Yeah,
that.
yeah, exactly.
It's so foreign to try and hold, like, just the fact that I'm holding two things as well. Like, I mean, in crochet, I would just hold my project, right? The fact that I have to consider, like, there's stitches on either side. So I'm in.
Yes.
And then I would do this with
No, you're scooping it again. You have to wrap it around. So you
this
have to
way.
on top of the needle.
That's
you
good.
do-
I have to keep that
you
in
do it
mind.
on top of the needle.
I have to keep
you
in mind.
don't do underneath.
Yeah, I have to keep in mind. It's like I need to
On
go
top.
the English style where I move the thread, I don't move the needle. Kind of
Yes.
in my mind. Like that's how I have to.
So look at me. I do like this, and I go
Over.
shoop, and I
Yeah.
pull down. You see, and then it's just easy to let go of it.
Okay.
So once again, I do like toot and shoo,
And
scoop it out.
we're going
Toot.
in and we're going
Shoo.
over.
Scoop it out.
And we're holding it counterweighted. Cool. Okay.
Okay. Show
I'll
us.
try.
Show us,
I'll
show
try
us.
to show. So this is
a little. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It's also because I'm looking at my project, obviously
you're
now.
doing so good.
And of course,
really.
it needs to be kind of like I need to have the stitch closer to the front, but not so close
So
that
remember.
it's gonna fall off.
Yes.
So I go. Well, first of all, I go in,
Yes.
and then I go. Well, fuck. Excuse me. I go over,
Yes.
and I need to do that with my thumb, so that I don't
You
like.
don't have to do
constantly-
it with your
No, but I
thumb,
think
but-
it makes sense for me to learn it like that. Sorry, everyone. So I go over and I hold it down with my thumb as a counterweight and then go through.
Perfect. And it
And
is
then
very nerve-wracking
go
to do this in
in.
front of other people,
We
and
go over.
but nobody
and
here.
We go through.
That's perfect.
Cool. Okay. Now I just have to do that 10 more times.
That is so
Hello.
perfect. All right, it's time for me to go and see if Christian can help with the links. So
we actually also have to finish quite soon because Matt's gonna need the studio
that is true.
to set up. So I know the idea was that we would have the gauge finished. This is what my gauge looks like today. So I think I'll have to finish it probably on my way home today so that we can have a session next week where we have our gauge swatches done. But don't worry because I mean
I'll just
you know.
I'll just end up then asking Christian to prepare the links another for next week.
for next week.
Or we can also just post it in the
Yeah. Since next week is when we're starting with the project proper,
Yeah.
that's when it really comes in. And I mean, we've just done an entire Pearl tutorial.
That's true. So it's just so annoying. Why can't I remember how to do the what do you call it, the Norwegian pearl? I literally
I mean, I'll be honest, I'm low-key glad you don't, because don't confuse my poor brain. I've just gotten the hang of your style of purling, so
but I think that
I
you're
think
gonna
it's
see
just having in my head, you go over the needle, you go over the needle.
Yes.
Don't scoop with the needle.
yes
go over, the needle.
exactly. Well, I didn't do much either. I mean, look at my gauge. My gauge is quite little too. But I'm actually quite curious to see if I match the gauge swatch or if I have to actually change tactics and get my hands on a different needle size or what up, what down. But I'm really excited to see if you can get your gauge to
Match what it's supposed to.
yeah, and just to let me just turn this off like this and then off like this. And here we are.
Here I am.
Here I am. I think that in this episode you've cussed so much that you never ever speak like that. So it's kind of funny to hear
Well,
you breaking down.
I never ever speak like that sort of in a professional context. This is very much
Exactly.
me at home trying to work anything out. It's
And it's always so like nerve-wracking when
I
you say a
know,
bad word
because
on screen because you're like, I'm an angel. I don't usually talk like that. Stop it.
Yes.
No, but it happens to everybody, and I've had my share
I
of
mean,
saying stupid stuff.
I have also used my fair share of like,
Have you though?
not a whole lot of them. It happens more often, like I think also like on the bingo where it's not recorded, so it's not, you know, preserved for.
Yes, eternity. Actually, that's something funny because we got a message from Facebook or from Meta saying that all of the live content will actually be deleted from
Yes.
everybody's accounts starting from June, which means that it's really sad because that means that they will only keep the videos available for 30 days.
Yeah.
So once the video
It's
has
gone.
reached the 30 days, then it's gone forever. So if you want to catch on some of the other contents, please go ahead and
Watch it now.
before it's too late, because you will never see it again.
I finished my pearl row.
Yippee!
And they are, I mean, look at how like instantly less tight they are.
Yes.
Because I don't twist them.
Yes.
So thank you very much. I've
You're
definitely
more than
already like,
welcome.
it's been, this program has already just been a success purely for
And
this.
it's just a
For-
matter of like seeing how,
No other reason.
I mean, I think that if you're getting faster at your purling, then obviously you will also work faster.
Yeah.
And technically speaking, even though you are slower at knitting than I am, I'm also making a much
Larger
larger
size.
size, which
Yeah.
means that takes probably double amount of time that it takes you.
And I mean, just for reference, right? Like, look how like airy these stitches are. So even though we're using 3 strands, because we're using 8mm needles, you can kind of see, you get the idea of how airy and like
Yeah.
floofy this project is going to be.
Floofy.
So that's super nice.
But that was
Very
pretty much
exciting.
for today. I think that this is my little swatch as well, so you guys can see it. I think that we are going to call it a day.
Yeah.
This is also from the
Do remember
Pearl
everyone
side.
that you can put CC50 in the
CC50.
chat, which will get you to the landing page that has the little catty comment about not making another scarf. But it also has both the pattern linked, and it's also the code you want to use to get 50% off the kit
I'm
silk
sorry.
if you want to buy it for yourself and participate.
I mean, get your hands, even if it's not for the Suki, it's 50%
Yeah, even
off on
if you
Kids
want to
Up.
do something else, so grab yourself the kit silk at a good discount if you can, if you want. But it's there for you. It's valid for 24 hours. So go there, and if you type Suki1 in the chat, you'll get a link to the pattern, so you can check
Yes.
that out.
Yes.
It is also linked on the landing page, though, so you can also find it there.
Exactly.
Just
And I will make sure to add the tutorials for next time, and also post them pretty much on
Yeah.
the live page, and
Yeah.
maybe we can even make a craft and chat group, like a Facebook group or something. Or we have to figure it out somehow.
We'll
somehow.
figure it out.
All right, we will see you guys actually next week.
Yes.
Next week, right? Or 2 weeks from now? Wait, I wrote it in my calendar.
Next week. Next week, and then we're skipping
Next
a week.
Exactly.
Yes, because I'm going on holiday, so Matt's going to do a quiz time.
Yes.
And then for the month of April,
Yes.
we're replacing quiz time with this, because for my peace of mind, I know if we do this every other week, I will essentially lose whatever progress
Yes.
I've made.
Yes.
So we kind of decided, let's make this more compact. So I hope that's cool with you. There's going to be a bit more yarning and yapping, or curse and craft, as we're now calling.
Curse and crafting.
Cuss and craft with Louisa.
Oh.
No, but we're going to do a little bit more of this. But that's April, so we've still got, I think next week is when we kind of properly get started with this, because that by that time, yeah, you'll be able to gather your yarns if you want to join us.
And once again, CC50, 50% off on Kid Silk. Get it, order it as soon as you can. The offer is only available for 24 hours, and order it so that you can get it in time for when we have our next Craft and Chat Suki Slipover live stream. Cal, let's go.
Woo, woo,
All right,
woo.
babies.
Thank you for joining. Thank you so much, Jaya, for your patience in teaching me this. And
I'm really proud
let's
of
get
you.
started.
I'm really proud of you. You're such a sweetheart. I really think you are. And I saw how red you got when you
When I was trying to pearl for the
so
camera, I was like,
cute. You got so red. All right, guys. See you very, very soon. And have a
Take
good
care.
one.
Have a great weekend.
Bye.
Almost, but it's almost the weekend.
Yeah, it is.